one thing you're going to have to be able to do is simplify radicals. Now, in our world in ninth grade, a radical is just a square root, okay? So if I give you square root of 100, you put that in your calculator and it spits out 10. Yay. That's simplified. But if we do square root of 20, let's see what I get on my calculator. Whoopsie. Second, x squared 20. You get 4.472135955. That's not simplified. That's a decimal. That's rounded. Don't do that. If you have to simplify, you can't have a decimal. So this is where those things that multiply come in. So what we're going to do is split this into two numbers. One of them is a perfect square, a number that you can square root. And then the other one can stay an irrational number, a number that you can't simplify. So you have to find two numbers that multiply to 20. Now, I could do 2 times 10, but none of those you can take the square root. They're not perfect squares. So even though 2 times 10 is 20, you can't simplify. So I'm going to use 4 times 5. Now, if you struggle with finding things that multiply, go to that y equals trick. And you would see 1 times 20, 2 times 10, 3 times some decimal, 4 times 5. And hopefully you know, oh, I can do the square root of 4. So then your answer, square root of 4 is 2. And then the square root of 5, you can't simplify. It's an irrational number, square root of 5. That is a simplified radical. Let's try another one. Hey, it's not. Let's do square root 72. Now this one's tricky. I'm going to do this a couple different ways. A lot of people know 9 times 8 is 72. But when you're doing this, you want to find the biggest perfect square. I could do, okay, square root of 9 is 3. But the problem is I could simplify this again. It's not fully simplified. So what you should do, unless you do this every day for your job and just happen to know this, look up all of the factors under that y equals, and you get 1 times 72, 2 times 36, 3 times, oh no, hold on. I didn't actually do this. I thought I could do it in my head. 3 times 24. Didn't know that one. 4 times 18. Dang, there's a lot of them. 5 times 14.4. 6 times 12. And then I think we get to 8 times 9. There's a lot of things that multiply to get 72. Yeah. Whoops. It's not 8 times 72. 8 times 9. Now, 9 is a perfect square, but there is a bigger perfect square lurking, and it's 2 times 36. So really, you don't want to use this. You want to use the 2 and the 36. So let me write this. I'm going to write over here to the right. So really, to simplify square root of 72, it's square root of 36 times square root of 2. So your most simplified radical, or square root, is 6 square roots of 2, or 6 radical 2. Now, if we looked back over here, you could simplify this again, but you'd have to simplify square root of 8, and it gets a little tricky. Let's do one more of these. Now, this is one I always have trouble with. I don't know why. It's just like a brain block. Square root of 108. It seems like it should be easy. Like, I know 2 times 54, but those aren't perfect squares. So I'm actually doing y equals on my calculator. 108 divided by x. Oh, I think I see it. Oh no. So 1 times 108, that's not going to help us. 2 times 54, whoops. 3 times 36, oh, maybe it's that one. 4 times 27. At first I thought it was 4 times 27, but I know I can simplify. 6 times 18, I think it's this one. Because I know 36 is a perfect square, and I know 3 is just 3 times 1. 36, 3. So it's 6. Square root of 36 is 6. And then the radical 3 stays put. So now what I'm going to do, actually, no, I'll just show you on this one. If this is a struggle for you, you can also do this a different way and use factor trees. It's an option. It takes a lot longer, but it works. Oh my goodness. I'm used to Smartboard Eraser. This is painful. Okay. Oops. So now let's try this again. I'm going to show you the factor tree way. Use this or don't use it. Doesn't matter to me. All right. So factor trees are finding things that multiply. So what multiplies to 108? Well, initially I knew it was 2 times 54. So you're just going to make these smaller and you're going to break them down to prime numbers. Prime number is a number like just 2 times 1. You can't make that any smaller. So that's why I circled it. 54, I know 6 times 9 is 54. And the 6 is, it's not 3 and 3, it's 2 times 3. And those are both prime numbers. And then 9 is 3 times 3. So now what happens, let me make my square root symbol. You take the matches and you move them out in front. So it's like go fish, like a pair. I got a pair of 2s. And that's going to go out front. And then I got a pair of 3s, and that's going to go out front. And you multiply them. Okay. This other 3 has no match, so that stays inside. So your simplified radical is 6 times square root of 3. Now, all of these numbers we don't use because we made them smaller. You're only using the prime numbers. So in a nutshell, really quick, that's how you simplify radicals.